Okay.
That's a good.
Yes, because it always points out that we are drinking.
That's a good. That's a good.
We gotta hide our props here. Okay, ready?
Oh wait,
Ready?
I gotta hide my prop.
Yeah, take your props off. Because we're not
I
showing
can't take my props off.
Along the same line. So I'm gonna bring a prop that. When I saw this in the movie, and I was with you guys when I saw the movie.
He actually nudged me during the movie, and he pointed. And he goes,
I said
that right there.
I need that in my life. And this is how this all happens. That all this stuff in this room.
The second he saw it,
you see it on,
he told me, I'm making that.
And it's iconic to me. It represents a lot. And when I see it, I have it on a shelf, like right by my desk. When I see it, I kind of smile. I'm like, that's super
makes you happy.
And so,
that's kind of
making the prop debut. Jean Urso's doll.
Jin.
Jin?
Is it Jen?
Did I say Jean?
I thought it was Jen.
Jin.
I thought it was
Jin.
Jin.
Like
Pam.
J-I-N.
There you go.
Pam. Is that with a
I've had a few of these.
Pam?
It was Jen.
The doll.
Okay, don't move the
from
table.
Rogue One.
It's beautiful.
The doll from Rogue One. The Death Trooper picks it up. She leaves it behind. It's got that amazing, iconic picture.
I want one.
You
gotta make me one.
And even though Brian kind of made fun of it a little bit, it's 3D printed. I'll put a link to the Thingiverse link in there. It's actually different parts from different things because I think this head is a little bit more screen accurate. Did all the painting myself. All the
It's really cool, and for him to say,
I love it.
To say that he did the painting, that's pretty
good.
That's a lot because normally he 3D prints something and just sets it out on the table.
There it is. It's gray.
Good enough. Oh god, and it's durable. And look, it's got like things.
It's very cool.
It's a child's toy, and it really reminds me of the fact that she was a little girl and she was playing with it, and the whole fact that you're playing with Empire. I mean, we're gonna get deep on this, but the fact that they're playing with these Empire soldiers, just like we play with GI Joes. It's so deep. Anyway, so that's my thing. We're gonna see what people think of that.
I love it.
It's really cool.
I think it's simple and just.
I think it could be 150% bigger.
So this is the scene I'm going for, where he's holding it like this.
But other than that, it's totally fine.
Okay, so the back is just kind of plain.
Yeah.
Okay, well I guess
you never see the back.
Yeah. So I guess it doesn't really matter. But what I love about this is anybody could have just made this. Excuse me. Anybody could have just made this and just glued the arms on. What I love what Neil did is he actually made it where it's got the elastic on it, just like a lot of our child toys. Where I'm sure you guys have had like a little toys where you press a button in the middle. You got like a little, collapsing. Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, but I think it's beautiful. It's great, and I gotta have one for my collection.
I'll tell you what, we'll definitely can do that. We just gotta hit print on that 3D printer. You gotta paint it though.
Well, I can't do it.
All right, so I put it out there. We're gonna see what, and I love that stand. So Brian, what do you got?
So 2 years ago, Neil comes over to my house and tells me how he had such a great time taking his kids and his family to Harry Potter World at Universal Studios.
Spectacular. Universal, send us all there. We'll sell props.
I totally scrapped my trip to Branson.
And Jen
and my kids and my wife.
You're welcome.
To this day, say that trip is totally due to Neil. I think they even think that he paid for it, which he did not.
There's no way.
There's no way he paid for that
trip. I barely afforded it this time. I took my whole family.
So we go to Universal, and it's a beautifully immersive Harry Potter experience. And Neil and I are both huge Harry Potter fans. And the one thing that catches my eye is the Quidditch chest from the original Harry Potter movie, Sorcerer's Stone. And it's kind of been on my list of things I wanted to make. And at the beginning of February, I started thinking, what am I going to make for the prop party?
And prop-wise, a really substantial and iconic.
It is a substantial and iconic prop. And I've thought about making it for 2 years, and decided on February 1st that I needed to make it and have it finished by March 4th. And clearly, it's not here. We're a week away, and we're shooting this
1 week from today.
1 week from today, I'm going to have a mostly finished Harry Potter Quidditch set. I am basing the Harry Potter Quidditch set.
Here's what I'll say. So far from what I'm seeing, because it's amazing, and I've seen the in-progress pictures. I think even if you brought an incomplete set, I think it's just.
Today I put a fresh coat of stain on it, so that's the reason it's not in front of us. But I thought I'd bring a couple of pieces that go along with it to kind of explain what it is that I'm doing. So the entire thing is based off of the Quaffle from Universal Studios. So this is kind of a Nerf ball of the Quaffle from Universal Studios.
And that's what started the project.
It looks good though.
This is what started the project. Everything is scaled off of this piece. I don't know how much you guys are familiar with Harry Potter, but this is, I was telling Neil earlier that 98% of what I'm doing is not something I can take off the shelf. It's all being built in my shop.
The scratch building.
It's wood, it's metal, it's 3D printing. It's me staying up late at night trying to figure out what it is that I'm going to do to make something work.
Crying.
Which is the crux of our hobby, just so you know. There have been many times that I'm sure all three of us have been up at 3:30 in the morning going, what the hell am I going to do for this part? Oh, yes.
And then what I think is the most difficult part is the part that I'm embarking on right now, which is the painting of it. Now, for Armando, that's easy. For Neil, he just skips the painting. But for me, that's the difficult part.
So, over to Brian's house or Armando's house.
This is part of the chest that holds the bludger down as it tries to escape.
No, the bludger, that's the metal ball.
The bludger is a huge 5-inch metal ball that tries to attack people on its own because it's magical. There's two of them.
So you gotta build 2 of them.
So there's 2 of these.
And by the way, I just went over to this guy's house a couple of days ago, and these bludgers are metal, and they're round, and they're heavy.
And they're lethal.
I mean, they're not screwing around.
This is a beater's bat, which is to
you
protect...
said beater.
Yeah, I did say beater. This is to protect yourself against the bludger, so the giant metal ball that is held in place by this. So I have a pair of beater's bats. The beater's bats are lathed from a solid piece of ash, just like you would make baseball bats out of.
See, now I feel bad. This is when you feel bad about this.
This is beautiful. Love it, baby.
But I didn't lathe anything.
I'm a golfer, and back in the old days when we had wooden golf clubs, you actually had to wrap the wooden drivers and to attach them to the golf shafts. Yes, I said shafts. So what I used was wax thread and then used the same wrapping technique for the handle. The metal part here is simply a piece of weld steel.
What's that?
That I wrapped around. It's metal.
So it's metal. I mean, I've got clearly.
Then it's welded here and formed around, and then put some dents in it by beating the bludger, for a lack of a better term.
Good for you.
So this is entirely handmade. Nothing bought.
No 3D
printing there.
Completely handmade.
Not good for cosplay. It's too
this is 3D printed,
but it's one of my favorite pieces.
That's pretty cool.
Clearly not finished yet. So this is the holder for the snitch. It has the Gryffindor, the Slytherin, the Hufflepuff, and the Ravenclaw symbols. And then it will have a hinge here, and it will open up to reveal
Look at that.
the golden snitch.
Look at that.
So Armando was at my house yesterday, and I had
no idea this product even existed.
Had no idea it even existed. So what I've done is I've painted the back of the snitch with magnetic paint.
Which for anybody that's building props, and again, I've been doing this for many, many, many years, I had no idea that they actually made a primer paint that's magnetic.
It's Rust-Oleum, and it seems to work pretty well. It's the first time I've ever used it.
You can actually put a magnet.
I've got a small magnet in the back of the crest, and while it will not hold it if I hold it upside down, the prop will have a lid that's like this, so it'll be vertical, and I'll be able to stick it in there, and it will be able to hold it, which is really all I'm satisfied need to have.
Cool.
And again, the
doors that open up.
The doors will open up like this to reveal the snitch.
Just like it is in the case.
Just like it is in the case.
Be actuated.
Again, it will not be actuated.
Because if I remember correctly, the case opens up like this, and it's in the top part of the case that this is inserted in, and then you open up the little doors, and that's where your snitch comes out of.
So I've got a week to not only finish this, but the entire chest. And again, the reason why the chest is not here is I put a fresh coat of stain on it before I start what I think is the hard part, which is painting. So, Armando, so I've kind of gone one step above.
It took me minutes and minutes.
Yes.
To paint that.
What did this take? 3.5, 4 hours to print?
I had to print it in 2 runs.
Yeah, and I think it took you
6 hours.
And I think it took you at least 12 just to build this bat.
It was a while.
I had to go to 2 Walmarts to find the stretchy elastic because they were out at the first one.
So, Armando, what have you got for us for the party?
Well, so for me, it's a little more involved because
he's standing up.
Yeah. Well, I got to do this thing. So you've been hearing about us saying for the prop party. We go to a few prop parties every year. This particular prop party is one of the biggest ones that we go to. So this is what we call the prop party. It's one in Roanoke. Don't really want to give a whole lot of details about it because it's kind of hard to get into.
It's like the super secret, like underground Fast and Furious of prop.
Yeah, but it's kind of like,
and this is the 10th time.
Yeah, this is going to be the 10th anniversary. Location. But it's kind of like for us. It's kind of like the Super Bowl of prop parties. One thing that I've noticed is whenever you get a lot of prop builders, you get people that have got stuff in their collection. So it's because it happens annually. So an entire year goes by and nobody's really added anything in their prop collection. So what ends up happening is you get a lot of the same people that come out and they keep bringing the same things out. Which is great. I mean, it's always nice to see, but after a while, it kind of gets a little repetitive. So what I didn't want to do is I didn't just want to start bringing out a lot of the same stuff that I've been bringing out to prop parties before. So what I decided to do here a few years ago is whenever I bring out to a prop party, I want it to have kind of a theme where I'm only bringing out, say for example, I'm only bringing out 1966 Batman props this year, or I'm only bringing out Twilight Zone props this year, or I'm only bringing out Star Trek from the original series props this year, and not bring anything else. Last year I brought out only things from the movie Gladiator. So for this year I've kind of been slacking off a little bit.
I don't have that deep a bench.
No, well, I'm strictly Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, and Star Wars. Although I'm branching out into Batman, thanks to my kids.
Yes.
I'm a little ADD, so I've got just a smattering of everything.
And also the prop party always has a theme. We've never followed the theme.
That's true.
But the prop party always has a theme.
That's true.
There's for the Doctor Who fans out there, we had a Doctor Who one. We've had Indiana Jones a couple times. Right. I'm going to put a picture right now.
Oblivion was last year.
I'm going to put a picture right now of the Ark.
Mm-hmm. The Ark
just to show you what we're dealing with here. Oblivion was last year, which we'll show you because it'll still be there. Probably the biggest and best Oblivion collection that you've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
a
lot of screen use stuff. Which we'll talk about screen use items later in another episode.
That's not me for sure.
Although
this is on screen now, so technically.
It's screen used for talking props.
Yeah, so
Sure.
but so you do bring a theme, and I think that's super cool. It's always been so exciting to see. What's the theme this year?
Well. So for this year, it's here. Not that anybody cares, but this time last year I was living in Tulsa, and I just recently moved to Texas. So with the whole relocation, I haven't had a lot of time to put into anything spectacular that I'm going to bring out. So basically, this year I'm going to go with kind of an insect theme, and this is where we get Ant-Man. Yeah, Ant-Man and the Fly.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. So we're this is what we're bringing.
Sure.
Neil, vote for Neil.
Vote for Quidditch chest.
This is pretty awesome.
And then life-size figures.
And then life-size Ant-Man and the Fly. Okay, so let's do this.
Neil's also roasting a pig.
We're gonna
that should add.
We're gonna cut over here so you can actually get a look at this stuff. And then the next thing you're gonna see is us at the prop party.